winning it, Matt, and I'm not going to rule it out, but he is one of the ones that, even though it would be somewhat shocking, I would worry about that finale, Matt, and I would worry for Finn Balor being a babyface if WWE put all their eggs in one basket with him, similar to what they've done with Roman Reigns. And then fans start to realise WWE want their guy to get over, and it goes back into that run again. Do you think they'll be a little bit more careful with him and probably bring him back a little bit more gradual to get him back in the limelight again?
Yeah, I don't really think that's the win that Balor needs, but it's one of my hates about a Royal Rumble when they bring in someone and they're between the numbers of 27 and 30, and then they win, and they're supposed to be a surprise. That's the thing I don't like about it. But if it did happen with Balor, I could see that a lot of people would enjoy that, and he might not get as much hate as Roman does, because simply the fact that that Balor has put a lot more effort into getting to the point that he is in his career. He went through that whole Japan route, and and people know his history and do kind of respect his in-ring ability. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say that they don't respect Roman Reigns' in-ring ability, so I guess that is one of the things that cheeses them off about Roman. So hopefully they give Balor a little bit more leeway, under those circumstances. But WWE doesn't really want to be pushing those buttons anyway.
Yeah, what's very noticeable with the way the odds rank up is that definitely they don't see Goldberg or Lesnar as potential victory guys, and I think maybe the rub of Goldberg, even though he did win so quick, and WWE seemed like they wanted to put that in, that Goldberg will not be, one of the favourites in this. Do you think that they might throw a curveball, Matt, and Bill Goldberg could possibly get one last run, and they throw it all up in the air? What we think is going to be Lesnar and Brock, at WrestleMania, just gets totally squashed, and they could, go with this, crazy sort of last sort of hurrah for Bill Goldberg, who's been getting, I've got to say, he's very good on the mic. He's getting the fans involved, and people seem to be buying it. We know he's probably going to be involved in the pay-per-view in between. What is that called? Fastlane. I've got a feeling he's going to be in a tag match with our friend Roman Reigns on that one, by the way. There was a few posters leaked about it, so I'm a little bit worried about that. But is there any chance, do you think, that WWE go with Lesnar or Goldberg as actual winners and throw us all off? Because again, that would be quite a shock.
Yeah, it would be, and I suppose that's one of the benefits of being a part-timer. You can never really pinpoint where their next match is going to be and under what circumstances. So that's the possibility they can go with. Yeah, they could do that, but then on the other hand, I don't see Goldberg as the kind of guy that's going to last out through this thing to an hour plus. Because isn't he scheduled to come in as number one? Is it? Yeah,
I think so. That's what they've decided. I can't remember.
It would be one heck of a task, after his previous match, and when he went the incredible distance that he did in that, the amount of time that he wrestled in his last match. I said before, I was kind of worried about his stamina. He's not known for going 10 minutes plus. So Royal Rumble, I think he will come in, big bang, and then Brock and him will be out somehow. Maybe Braun Strowman throws them both out. That gets Braun over massively.
Yeah, well, you never know with that. Okay, other names, I don't want to go through everybody because we'll be here all night, but other names worth pointing out is Roman Reigns is way out. I mean, you think Brock and Goldberg are out. Roman Reigns is probably about another 8 back from that. The guy, Roman Reigns, is involved with, of course, the title match. I guess a lot of people are expecting him not to participate in the Royal Rumble itself. Would you be in an agreement in that, Matt, that he probably won't be in it? And they'll keep him away from the Royal Rumble this year, because the last 3 have pretty much got him all over it, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it's a very interesting one, though, isn't it? How you can go from being the main guy in the last 2 Rumbles to now not even being considered as a winner. Yeah. It's not exactly completely out of the realms of considering what we've seen from him, but I would highly doubt it. just because you would hope WWE have learned from their mistakes in the past, and it's better to leave those kind of things alone. But I'm guessing that even though Roman is far out of the running, I bet you Kevin Owens is higher up than him, though.
Yeah, well, he is there.
So you think they would be uneven?
Yeah, and interestingly enough, of course, last year's winner, Triple H, is even below that. Again, if you was watching it as a sport, you'd probably think, what the hell's going on? That guy won it. How's he not joint favourite? But that's how the world of wrestling works. And whether Triple H is in it, I'm not sure. You never know. Could get an announcement later from what we're hearing. Could be something maybe with him and Seth during the Rumble. You never know. I get the feeling, Matt, there's going to be a lot of like little inner feuds in the Rumble itself. Which is kind of a good thing because it keeps you more intrigued to what could go on. But there seems like a load of little mini things going on with Bray and Orton and stuff like that, and then the crossovers between both brands and ex-White members and Shield and all the rest of it. So you never know what you could get in this overall. So it does mean a little bit more exciting. I guess if other names that I've definitely seen some. I don't know if you saw the pictures, Matt, of Big Show, who's been in incredible shape at the moment. I don't know if you saw his latest pictures, Matt, of his abs at the minute, and he's almost got a six-pack going on. I don't know if you saw that picture.
Oh yeah, I did actually. Yeah, he looks in incredible shape. Yeah. It's amazing when you think he's the oldest he's been in his career, but the best shape he's been in his career. Crazy. Yeah,
he said he's the lowest he's ever weighed in God knows how long. I think since '95 or somewhere like that when he came in as the Giant. So he's done an incredible job. Like, my hat's off to him. It's not easy when you're that big. I can't imagine how difficult it is. It's not easy at all when you've got that. But he looks like he's really determined, Matt. Whether this is his last hurrah to give a good account of himself, like you can really see that. And because of that, Matt, I can see him doing something quite big. If used properly at WrestleMania, just to let's get him back. Let's kind of keep him. Maybe you never know. It could be something. I'm guessing there'll be a moment, Matt, if he does come in the Rumble, they're going to want Braun Strowman up against him. There'll be that kind of that move. But there seems a lot of those guys in this, especially if you add Joe into the mix. If he debuts as well, it's like a lot of these big guys. And I tell you what, you forget about Rusev, and that poor guy. He's just going to look very average, isn't he? In all this. It's worth pointing out if the bookies, of course, they always add these ridiculous ones in it. Of course, we have got Shawn Michaels in it. I don't know how ridiculous that is, but if you want to talk really ridiculous, Vince McMahon, 250 to 1, Matt.
Well, that £1 could make you very rich.
Fire him, yeah, give me that. And then Shane McMahon, 150 to 1. Well, I'll tell you what, the way Shane's record's gone, you never know. Could be one of the winners the way his reputation's gone, but let's hope not. So that's the Royal Rumble. Of course, we've got title matches going on as well, Matt. I'm really happy that they've got the Cruiserweight match now as well going on, because it looked like that they were going to do it at 205, but they kind of changed their mind and put it on at the Royal Rumble, which is I think a good move. And I've got to say, Matt, both title matches. I think people are expecting almost that, yes, John Cena has to win, make the big statement, and then Kevin Owens is the transitional champion, Roman Reigns is going to win. But do we see a double title change in one night, Matt? Because that would be quite surprising if they do. But I'm guessing, then again, could we see both defences and, no title change? I mean, how do you think this is going to play out, Matt? Do you think they would go with a double change in one night at the Royal Rumble, considering, those big moments are expected at WrestleMania, and do you take too much away from WrestleMania and put too much out at a Royal Rumble?
Well, yeah, this is the good thing about this Royal Rumble. This is one of the other things I like about it, is that even the title matches are hard to decide about who's going to win.
Yeah.
I kind of feel last time we were speaking on the podcast, I did kind of say I felt the US title was a safety net for Roman, and I didn't worry about him taking the heavyweight title.
No, we're not.
Universal title, so long as he held on to that. And now it's gone. I'm kind of feeling, oh no, I'm getting those worried feelings.
Yeah. And it's the Royal Rumble, of course, where he always does something. Even if he loses, there's always a familiar name you remember at these Royal Rumbles recently, and it's Roman Reigns every time. So is this like his sort of show of the year, where it has to be the Royal Rumble? It's going to be interesting, isn't it? If it, really and truly, do they want that happening? I don't know. I thought they gave up on him, Matt, but it never seems to amaze me. They are so dead keen on this. But then again, a lot of people are saying this is good news for Kevin Owens. There's no way Roman's winning, and this means Kevin Owens is going into WrestleMania. But it's tough to tell, Matt. It really is, when Roman Reigns has got anything to do with anything. The way WWE is about him. So, Matt, just a quick question: if the Undertaker's been at the very top the entire time, he's been the one consistent thing with a lot of the bookies and a lot of people as favourite. Him winning, he's won it obviously before, and I felt like when he won it last time, that was his last hurrah as well. When he went in against Edge, I think I remember that. WrestleMania 24, and that was like one of the one things he hadn't done was win a Royal Rumble. He'd done it there. Would it? I mean, a bit. I don't know what to think about him winning another one. Like, it doesn't mean much as much as the first one, because he's already done it. And at this stage of his career, I just don't know. I mean, I'm not against him winning it by all means. I think the guy, deserves it as much as anybody. But that sort of like special moment, I just don't think would be there for me, Matt, on Undertaker winning.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird one, because a Royal Rumble winner, it should really help someone's career. It doesn't really help the Undertaker's career. I mean, if a person from Raw won it, then fine. Undertaker is the type of guy that when he wants to, he doesn't need a storyline. He just walks up to someone and says, "I want to fight you." And if it happens to be a champion, I want to fight you for your heavyweight championship. You don't even question it, That match is made, and it's made at WrestleMania. So the fact that he can just walk up to anyone and they would have to accept it because of who he is, it really doesn't really make sense why he feels the need to enter a Royal Rumble to get a shot. Yeah,
also, what's interesting, Matt, is if you look at all four contenders for that belt. Now, I know we've got a pay-per-view in the middle, and it could change again. But just from where we're at now, there's no one I'm thinking that's the match they're going to go with. The only match I would say would be AJ Styles. But, I don't know. I mean, I think between Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns, I wouldn't think there's much for that. And not at this point for Kevin Owens anyway. I would say, he'd have no hope against an Undertaker. I'd be like, Undertaker will win, convincingly. At this stage with Kevin Owens, but
now you've said that, it could end up being Undertaker versus Roman Reigns.
Yes, that's a worry, isn't it? Well, let's see what happens. But it's good, as Matt said. It's very unpredictable this year. That's far. You never know when you get into that final week. They do tend to close things down and try to give you, a little nudge in the way you should be cheering for. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on the Go Home show, because you do read a lot into that, especially if a guy loses on the Raw show before it. It's always a sign that he's probably going to win it or do something spectacular in it. So it'd be very interesting to see what happens there. Let's now take some questions. But before we do, Matt, I'm going to give everybody a heads up. Of course, our app, which will be debuting on the night of the Royal Rumble itself. You will be able to have the app on your smartphone or tablet device from Google Play straight away from there, and that will be available for everybody on the 29th. More details to come. Had lots of emails in about it, and don't worry, there's going to be some stuff coming up on our Facebook page as well, and we're going to have more in that next week as well, to discuss more. Again, if you want to get in touch with us and emailing us a question, email us at the Wrestling Skull Podcast at gmail.com. Had a lot of questions going in this week. Now, as I say to everybody, if I don't always read your question out, I always tend to get back to you where I'll reply on an email. Sometimes as well we get the same question like loads of times, and what I do during the show is I try and cover all bases so that